I'm gonna say something that's gonna trigger people. But the truth is, having a successful career in the music industry is easy. It's not hard at all. People just aren't doing the right things. Point blank, period. If I told you that I wanted to be a football player and you asked me, are you working out every day? Are you practicing plays? Are you talking to colleges and working with a coach? And I told you, no, I'm not doing any of that. You would look at me like I'm crazy. Because in every industry, there are necessary steps that you need to take to succeed. That's just a fact. So I'm gonna tell you the 2 things that are needed to become a successful audio engineer. It's just 2 things and they're simple. By the way, my name is Alan Pinto. I go by MixedByAP. And if you haven't heard my story already, I moved to LA with $0 in my pocket, no job, no car, literally nothing. And within 1 year, I was a full-time engineer at the most poppin' recording studio in Los Angeles. I mixed songs for platinum artists like Ray J, Kid Ink, YB and Amir. And eventually, I went on to work on Rihanna's Anti album and worked with more multi-platinum artists like Fetty Wap, Lil Xan, YB and Cordae, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and a lot more. And the funny thing is, I've done all this really surprisingly quickly. A lot of people look at my career and probably think that I just got lucky, but that's not true at all. I just made smart decisions that literally anyone else can do too. Where people get lost is there's not really a place where you can go and learn how to become a successful audio engineer. Places have colleges. If you want to be a doctor, you can go to this college. If you want to be a lawyer, you can go to this college. And all these places send you on the right path. Engineers don't necessarily have that, especially people that just want to be in the music industry. There's nowhere you can go to learn this stuff. I remember starting out and having so many questions, and I watched every single YouTube video about engineering that exists. And after watching every video, I still didn't really know what the fuck I was doing, let alone know how to professionally mix a song. I didn't know the standards, I didn't know the rules. I've now taught over 500 engineers how to mix, record, and master music professionally. And now that I've taught over 500 engineers, I think I have the hang of it and the results are in. The stats don't lie. 3 out of 4 of all my students have landed jobs at professional recording studios within 1 year of taking my program. 3 out of 4 of all my students are basically paying all their bills with the money they make recording and mixing and mastering for other artists. 18 of my students have opened up their own studio and are now the go-to studio in their cities, in their hometowns. One of my students just did a song with Future. Another one of my students just did a song with Sweetie. And over 20 of my students have moved from their hometown to LA. And now they're working in studios, some studios where I personally got them the job because I knew the managers or the owners. So what's happened is my program created a community of engineers. So this community breeds winners because of what is taught and given here that you can't learn or get anywhere else. This is going back to what I said earlier about the 2 simple things that are needed to become a successful audio engineer. And listen up, because I'm about to start dropping some bars. So number 1, your mix needs to be professional. This is an easy one. There's a set of do's and do nots in this industry when it comes to mixing a song professionally. There's a certain sound criteria that you need to meet and check boxes that you need to check off for your mix. For example, there's a certain level of loudness that your song needs to meet to sound the best on streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. Most people don't even know this. Another cool secret is, and this is gonna blow your fucking mind, 95% of your favorite artists' songs, and these are the songs that are on the radio, these are the big top Billboard 100 songs, are all mixed with a set of the same plugins. Every professional engineer in this industry uses the same plugins for the most part. They might add, some spices, a little spice here and there with, going in variants, but for the most part, they are all using the same set of plugins, the same plugins. What that basically means for you is if you figure out what plugins they're using, exactly what they're doing, and how they're mixing, then you can recreate that and your mix will sound exactly like the best engineers in the game. And my program teaches all of that. So having a good mix is everything. People just need to know that you make shit sound good. In this industry, there are no degrees. No studio will ever ask you, to show you their degree. They're gonna ask you, can you show me a mix? Can you show me some work that you've done? And it's the same with artists. If you wanna work with an artist, they're not gonna ask you for a degree. They're gonna ask you, send me something that you've mixed. Send me some previous work. And that will determine whether they decide to work with you or not. So in my program, not only do I teach you how to professionally record, mix, and master music from start to finish, I teach you exactly what plugins the best engineers in the industry are using, how they're using them, how to recreate their professional radio mixes so that your mix sounds exactly like them. And on top of all that, I help you build your portfolio of professional mixes that we do together, and I make sure that they're all perfect. So when any artist or studio asks you, can we hear some things that you've mixed, we want to see your work, all you're gonna have to do is present the portfolio that me and you built together, where I was able to ensure that all your mixes were perfect. And this is basically the strategy that I've had. That's why I've been able to get every single one of my engineers a job so quickly, 3/4 of them. And now the second thing that you need to become a successful engineer is connections. And more importantly, you need to know how to move correctly in this industry. I don't think I need to go too in depth of why connections are important in this industry, but to make it simple, one person that you work with will most likely refer you to another, and this is gonna branch out and open up your potential clients. So what my program offers that I haven't seen anywhere else is I offer an extension of my personal connections to all my students. These are connections that I built over 10 years in the music industry. My connections are your connections. If I know an artist that's coming to your city, there's a chance that I could have you go do a session with them and get your credits up. And I know a lot of managers, I know a lot of label execs, and these are just things that help build up your credibility. And that's why those two things are really the only thing you need to become a successful engineer. If you have the connections and your mix is professional, there is no door that I can't open for you or that you can't open for yourself. This audio engineering program is everything that I wish I had when I was starting out in the music industry. So 10 years later, 10,000 hours, thousands of studio sessions, and 10 multi-platinum credits later, I decided to make a program myself to help the next generation of engineers follow the path and have it 50 times easier and jump ahead 100 steps, the things that I never got to experience that I would have loved to have when I was starting out. So in my program, you're gonna learn how to professionally record, mix, and master vocals, beats, any type of audio. And you're gonna learn how to work with studio equipment. I walk you through the entire process of recording, mixing, and mastering a song from start to finish, step by step, breaking everything down from the most simple beginner level and walking you step by step to the more advanced stuff until you're at an expert level. So if you want to work in the music industry as a professional audio engineer, then click the Get Access button below so I can teach you all the things you need to succeed.